Okay, good afternoon, good night, I think in some parts of the world. I would like to introduce myself. My name is César Collazos. I'm full professor at Computer Science Department at University of Cauca in Colombia. And first of all, I would like to say thank you, all the organizers of this important Congress, and obviously on all the authors that have sent the research papers. During this session, the idea is that we will have 9 papers, and each author will have 2 minutes at most to introduce themselves and summarize their work. Then the idea is to have a discussion panel in which we expect the participation of all the attendees, not only the authors, but all the participants. And so this is the dynamic that we will have during this important session. Okay, so we are going to begin. The first paper is titled COVID-19 and Distance Learning. And I think that he is going to be presented by Hanae Aoulad Ali. I don't know if I pronounce good or no. Or who is going to present this paper, because in the information that I received, Hanae was the person that Hanae is in the okay. Hanae, are you? No, I think that is not here. So if do you want, we could pass to the next paper, and if during the session appears Hanae, we will present this paper. Okay, we are going to pass to the second paper that the name is Blended Learning Platform Model, and it is going to be presented by, at least I think so, Fatima Ezzahraa El Habti. I don't know if it's in the, no. Okay, so I think that, okay, let's go to the third paper. And the third paper is Dynamics of Online Learning During COVID-19 in Indonesia, Bibliometric Analysis and Future Research Agenda. It is going to present by Zalik, Nuryana, or, yes, I think so, or Zalik, yes. Zalik, you're going to present this paper?
Okay, hello,
okay.
Everybody.
Hi, Zalik.
Okay, thank you, Prof. César Collazos. To all ladies and gentlemen, for your information, I was submit 3 articles. In this opportunity, YouTube article will be presented by Affendy Ahmad, and higher education response will be presented by Rifki Dura, my team research. I have informed to commit for each presentation by a different author. Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Zalik Nuryana. I am from Indonesia, from Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. On this opportunity, I will present my article with the title Dynamic Online Learning During COVID-19 in Indonesia, Bibliometric Analysis and the Future Research Agenda. With the authors Zalik Nuryana, second author Professor Wenbin, with other author Shiqi, Zulherman, Andri Pranolo, and Alfian Ma'arif. Our article aim to examine online learning publication trend during the pandemic using bibliometric analysis. This research use bibliometric analysis to identify pattern and the trend, as well as visualize metadata. And the data was obtained from the Scopus database, and the future research can be developed using motivational learning and the post-COVID-19 school system as keyword. Furthermore, this research provides a thematic trend visualization map for future research to develop educational concept and policies on online learning, specifically in archipelago countries such as Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Zalik, for your interesting work. Now we are continue, and the fourth paper is a study on students' online learning performance and satisfaction during the pandemic, the case for TVET education institution in Borneo, Malaysia, and is going to present by Adibah, Raihan, Affendy.
Hello, good evening to all. Can you hear me?
Yes, Nura. Yes.
Okay. My name is Adibah Raihan, and I'm from Polytechnic Muka, Sarawak, Malaysia. Okay, the objective of my study is to find out what is the challenges frequently faced by students during online learning. As we all know, the whole world was affected by the spreading of coronavirus, which forces the education systems to change from traditional teaching and learning to fully online learning. Therefore, my study is focuses on TVET institutions, since not many studies talks about it. And the result from my studies shows that students are more affected by their surroundings rather than the methods of teaching itself. Okay, we choose to focus on TVET education institution because TVET institution are different from the normal educations, because TVET the curriculums of the TVET itself, it's more on the practical part of the subject matter rather than memorizing its theory. The educations or training is more on the technical in nature and aim to provide skills for a person related to a profession. And surprisingly, the result from our study, it shows that the method of teaching itself, even though we teach the student using online learning, it actually doesn't matter. What's affected, what become the main problem for the student is the learning where they study itself actually. It consistent with other study previously conducted by the previous author lah. I think that's all from me.
Thank you so much, Adibah. I don't know if I pronounce good. Okay, let's go with the next paper. Is the paper number 5 is YouTube and learning media during COVID-19, a case study on primary education or school education, and it's going to present it again by Zalik. Okay, Zalik again.
For this title, will presented by Fandi Ahmad, Prof.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Prof. César. Hello, everyone. Assalamualaikum. My name is Fandi Ahmad. I'm from Ahmadiyah University, Indonesia. I represented my team for presentation about YouTube learning media during COVID-19, case study on primary school education. But before that, I will introduce my team, Mr. Zalik Nuryana, our corresponding author, and then Mr. Muhammad Alif Kurniawan, Mr. Yasida Iksan, Mr. Yusuf Hanafia, and the last, Mr. Fadul Rahman. The core of the research is to explore and find out the effectivity of YouTube as a learning media for Islamic education, or PEI, during the COVID-19 pandemic for elementary school level children. As we know that COVID-19 has an impact on all aspects of life, including education and learning. So To ensure that teaching and learning activity continue to run well, teachers are required to master learning media that supporting online learning. One of the learning media is YouTube, but the problem is how effective YouTube is a learning media, especially for elementary school children in Indonesia. So this type of research is qualitative research, of course, using case study approach. The data collection method used with interviews, questionnaire, and documentation. And this result is first aspect of usefulness in terms of the usefulness of YouTube. It is said to be effective because it can be used as a learning resource that can support the learning process. Second, aspect of YouTube accuracy is the right learning media solution so that learning can still run well even during COVID-19 pandemic. Third aspect of the scope of YouTube service is very supportive as a learning media, especially for Islamic education or PEI, learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the conclusion is based on the result, it can be concluded that the effectivity of YouTube is a learning media for Islamic education or PEI during the COVID-19 pandemic for elementary school level children is seen from three aspects of usefulness, accuracy, and scope. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fandi, for your presentation. And now let's go to continue. The sixth paper is Online Learning Platform for Students with Disabilities, Possible Path to Progress. It's going to present by Onintra Pubracert.
Sorry, turn on the micro, please. We can hear you.
Okay. Hello.
Nitra? Hello. Now it's okay. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Onintra Pubracert. I'm a senior researcher at Assistive Technology and Medical Device Research Center, National Science and Technology Development Agency. Actually, I'm originally from Thailand, and my responsibilities are to design and develop of software application for students with learning disability and a project manager of accessible online learning platform for all type of students with disability. And for my presentation today is on online learning platform for students with disability, possible path to progress. Actually, this work I work with my co-worker Siri Laksami Vanit and can't remember his name, and Nong Pete. Okay. During the COVID-19 situation, schools increasingly adapt themselves to distance learning. However, there are limitations of the student with disability to use the distance learning system. So our team concerned about this and start to develop online learning management platform accessible and usable for all to give chance to students with disability to access distance learning media equally to other students. And according to the test results, the system has passed the inspection criteria of WCAG 2.0 level A. That means indicating the success criteria compliant to the objective of the guideline. At present, we continue to develop the digital media for all to access the system consistently. We anticipate that this platform will be one of the noticeable paths for their progress. Okay, that's it for my short of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Onintra, for your interesting research work. Now let's go to continue with the paper titled Challenge of E-Learning in COVID-19 Pandemic. It's going to be presented by Hanae, Aoulad Ali. Hanae.
Hanae is connecting. Can you hear us? Hanae? Hello?
I see in the list Hanae, but I don't know if he's able to talk. Hanae.
Okay, continue with the next one.
Okay.
Sorry, Cesar. Fatima is here with us too.
Yes,
okay?
yes. Okay. I told Karina that at the end we are going to know or to try to define if the person who are going not to present it are here in order to begin. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alfonso. Now we are going to the next paper that is higher education response to the COVID-19. Do students feel comfortable studying with distance learning? This is going to present it with Rifty, Dora. So thank you so much, Rifty.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to share our paper. The title is Higher Education Response to the COVID-19 and Do Students Feel Comfortable Studying with Distance Learning? So this is a group paper. There are 6 members who wrote this paper. It's me and also Zalik Nuryana, Andri Pranolo, Alfian Ma'arif Sularso, and also Suyadi. I'm actually representing Southwest University, Chongqing, China. The aim of the study is describing students' responses to study from home program and over several recommendations for online learning during COVID-19, with the hope at that time that learning will continue to operate effectively. So actually this paper is a rapid feedback from the communities in Indonesia at the first time where the COVID-19 attacked Indonesia on March 2020. The rapid feedback itself back to the Ministry of Education and Culture about the study from home regulation. We focused mostly on the higher education institution. We took the data through online surveys from Google Form, and also we developed the data from the from the result, and the result and also the discussion were about 5 topics here: the quick responses from the higher education institution, especially the students who are in the college level, and the online, how about the online learning before and also the during the pandemic, and popular applications for online learning in that time, and their responses about online learning, and also the recommendation for the government. So the main recommendation for the government of Indonesia at that time, the first one was the improvement for the internet connection by upgrading the infrastructure, because at that time the internet connection were not stable on March 2020, and also we are recommending that government should work with the global companies to deliver students-friendly online digital platform, and they also have to make the national scale online learning develops well. And the next one, they also have to provide excellent service to schools, teachers, students, and also policymakers during the COVID-19, and give the communities the service excellence that will help them to learn better during the COVID-19. Two main recommendations here. The first one is the free credits for the customers, especially students who would like to access the online learning sites with all the internet service providers in Indonesia. And the second one is the creating a standard operating procedure for online learning evaluation that is used as a reference throughout Indonesia. Well, at that time, hopefully the education will continue to run optimally in Indonesia with all the limitations and problems. Thank you very much, Professor.
Ricky, thank you so much for your interesting research work. Now we are going to the last one, but after that we are going to see if the authors of the first papers are ready. The last one is the EU index, an alternative metric to measure academic impact. I don't know if Roberto Dilo is here. I can see. Okay, let's go to begin with the next round. With the first paper, that the name is COVID-19 and Distance Learning. I don't know if some of the authors are here to present the paper. Hanae, Fatima. I think that Fatima is going to present the second paper, but I don't know if one of you are going to present the first one. COVID-19 and Distance Learning. No? Okay, otherwise we are going to the next. According to Karina, told me that Fatima is going to present this paper. Blended Learning Platform Model is going presented by Fatima Ezzahraa El Habti. Fatima.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Fatima. Yes.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Fatima Ezzahraa El Habti. I'm a PhD student and I'm part of the lab teams of the University of Bibliometric study. First, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present my contribution. For my contribution, the main idea of my paper is to propose a model for an online learning platform for the blended learning ecosystem. First, blended learning is a combination of traditional face-to-face training and online distance learning. We use the term blended learning ecosystem to describe all the components required to build a blended learning environment. These components are divided into 5 categories: content providers, content consumers, consultants, e-learning infrastructure, and e-learning culture. The e-learning infrastructure is a key component of the blended learning ecosystem as it hosts the distance learning platform. To this end, our paper presents a flexible, intelligent, and manageable distance learning platform model for the blended learning ecosystem, which is composed of 3 layers: the midpoint layer, the interactive services layer, and the infrastructure layer. The midpoint layer, it is an access layer to the educational platform. It is the meeting point of all profiles, teachers, students, university community with the blended learning system. It displays the user interface for the profiles and manages the authentication process. The interactive services layer, it includes interfaces and catalogs that expose to users the resources available on the platform. And the infrastructure layer, this is the layer that hosts the platform. All learning resources in different formats are stored on database servers. So universities can adopt and adapt this model to their needs to build a blended learning environment. So that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fatima, for your presentation. I'm going to see if some of the papers that are in the list appears some of the authors. For example, the 7th paper that is Challenge of e-learning in COVID-19 pandemic, Hanae Aoulad. I see Hanae in the list, but okay, I saw because it's not able now. Okay, so due to there are no more papers. Hanae, are you able to present?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for this contribution. So our study is survey of distance learning and COVID-19. our study have present another view of online learning. Online learning has become the main method of instruction during the pandemic. The analysis show that the common online platforms using in the coronavirus were Zoom, Microsoft Teams, offering online interaction classes, and WhatsApp in communication with students outside the classes. Our study found that both study and the students agree that the online education is useful during the current pandemic. They also agree on the advantage of online learning. The benefits were mainly self-learning, cost, and flexibility. Even though online learning work as a temporary alternative of COVID-19, it could not substitute face-to-face learning. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So due to that there are no more papers, there are no more authors to present the papers. Now we are going to pass to some discussion panel. First of all, I would like to say thank you all the authors for your interesting research work. And now, as I mentioned before, we will have some time for a discussion panel. That the idea is not only the authors, but the participants of this session could participate. According to the COVID-19, we were in a time that the school closures have brought significant disruption to education around the world. Many studies indicated that during this pandemic, in many cases, we have learning losses and we have many increases in inequality. One of the most limitations of this called emergency remote learning has been the lack of personal interaction between teacher and student. And with broadcast, this is simply not possible. What do you think? What is your opinion about this issue, and how could be improved? And if you want to share some aspect of some experience about how to increase or improve the quality of interaction between teacher and student during this kind of emergency remote learning. So the idea is that person who want to give us an opinion, please raise the hand. And no one who want to begin? Okay, who want to begin? This is the most. I think that this is the most important thing here in this session panel, is that try to discuss about what we are, what would you, for example, experience during this pandemic time, and we would like to know your experience about this kind of interaction between teacher and students using different technological platforms, and what do you think is the most suitable manner to use in a way, or in a way that this interaction could be improved in a better manner?
Many study show.
Yes, sorry.
Many studies show the relation of online learning in COVID-19. Sure, you have improved the interaction between student and teacher to become a powerful performance.
Who else?
Can I?
Yes,
something? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, regarding to the COVID-19, actually there are a lot of stories back in 2020 and also 2021 in our country, but because actually I dealt with students and also teacher, which is not easy, of course. The first one, I would like to focus on the weaknesses first, and then the second one is about the strength. So there are a lot of weaknesses happen at that time. So because Indonesia is a very big countries, archipelagic countries with more than 17,000 islands, it's really hard for us to connect the teacher with the students without internet, but we had to. But at that time, the providers or the infrastructures were not provided well. So that's the biggest obstacle in our country. And the second one, we didn't have a national scale learning applications, which is very affordable and also very good for teachers and also for learners. So that's why we adopted international applications, which is very much easier even to connect with. That's the biggest obstacle. That's the the overcome of the obstacles. And then the next one is about the strength. The strength here is suddenly technology came up to our education system. Like it or not, we were forced to use technology, in a big portion or in a bigger, put them into a bigger systems than before, that we never expected before, like in such bigger portion like this. And then after the COVID-19, we now are the online learning users and also face-to-face learning as well. So we can do both. I mean, we are very flexible learners, and even the teachers are now really flexible enough to do both. I mean, like coming to the class, and if they cannot come into the class, they could replace the teaching learning activities through technology or by the help of the technology. So that's a really good things. The pandemic, of course, it really big, waves for all people all over the world. And I note like there are a lot of opportunities that we never explored. So say, for example, this seminar, probably I had to go to Peru at that time if there is no Microsoft, or probably there's no like a virtual conference like this. So I had to spend a lot of money coming from Indonesia to that place. But using this platform, using this virtual conference, I can see a lot of good people here. I could see like all professionals here. Though it's morning right now, it's like 5 p.m. in the morning, and probably like 5 p.m. in the morning, and then in your country it might be like 5 p.m. or probably 12 p.m. So this is the good effect of the pandemic itself. But also there is like a little bit sad news, because during the pandemic the learning loss the learning loss level is higher than the normal condition, because students and even teachers and many people around us, they lose contact, the personal contact. Like the professor said that during the pandemic we lost touch because we have to stay at home, because we have to study at home, we do everything from home, and it seems like we need to talk with people in the actual room. So yeah, the last touch is probably also things that we have to consider right now. Though we now are very flexible using face-to-face learning or online learning or virtual platforms, but I think we need to somehow extract the message of face-to-face learning. So we're not gonna lose touch, because the essence of the education, it's not only having a virtual meeting or online learning, but also how our heart would be accepted by the students, and even the students know us or recognize what we're going to say at that time. And then the face-to-face learning is, like some media to share things that we cannot grasp during the virtual conference or virtual learning. I think that's all, in my opinion.
Thank you, Rifki, for your great contribution. I think that many of the problems that you've suffered in Indonesia, for example, were the same that we suffered in some Latin American countries. So there are many similarities about the main problems that we had. I don't know if our great friends Karina and Alfonso has something to say. Otherwise, I have another questions and some reflections. But
okay, I would like to another question. I would like to know what is the situation in your institution or your country in this new scenario post-pandemic, because during the pandemic, the most of the university increased the use of ICT in the learning. But now in post-pandemic, some of this institution is coming back to the traditional situation, no? And a lot of this tool that has been very, very useful doesn't use, no? Now, what is your opinion in your country or institution? What is happening there?
Well, actually, in the country now, because I live in the small city of Indonesia called Jakarta, most of students, they're coming to our university. So here we apply the hybrid learning. So, say for example, we have like, for now, we have like the new students coming to our university is around like 7,000 students for this semester, and then like around like 5,000 students they're coming to our university, and 2,000 students they're still doing a virtual learning. So it's like a hybrid, like half and a half, like that. And now it's actually we still use the online learning platforms. So whenever the lecturer or the instructor cannot give the, like a traditional evaluation, they will just use the technology to help them to give evaluation. Or we rarely touch the traditional evaluation again, like papers. We don't use papers anymore. We don't use like a pen anymore, but all the evaluation platforms that we are using right now is like a Google form, and then a Kahoot, and then the other, or even we also have our own learning management systems, which is developed by our university. So that's the good sides of after effect of the pandemic. Yeah, so I could say that we do like hybrid learning for now.
Thank you, Rifki. What is the situation in Malaysia, Nur?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. For in Malaysia, it is quite the same situation like Indonesia. We are having the hybrid learning education system right now. We are given a choice either to do the online learning or to have a physical face-to-face classroom. But as for my case, from my experience, most of my students requested to have a physical face-to-face classroom because they said that they miss the feeling or to sit in the classroom, to mingle around with their friends and lecturers. They miss their feelings. They said that yes, they can do the online learning, but they feel quite lonely. They think they need to have a conversation like face-to-face physically with their friends, and they feel that it will feel more convenient to ask questions from to get the clarification about the subject matters from the lecturers. Yes, we are still having the hybrid system, but mostly for the assessment, we are still using the conventional one because we think that the conventional one where we have the physical assessment, I think that for in my opinion, for the physical assessment will give more truthful answer. We can get a more truthful answer from the students. It's not like the online assessment is not good, but anything can happen during the online assessment. Where what I mean that when answering the question, the student can easily Google things up and write the answer in the online platforms as their answer in their answer scripts. That's why, yes, we can in Malaysia here. In my campus, in Polytechnic Muka, we still do the hybrid classroom. Either we can choose either to have physical class or online class, but for the assessment, we strict it to face-to-face physical assessments. Okay, that's all from me.
Thank you, Nur. What is happening in Thailand from Intra?
Hello. Actually, in Thailand, it's very difficult for us to do the hybrid thing because the distance learning is very difficult for the system, and especially for the student with disability because the media we actually have right now not support for blind student or deaf student. So right now our team have to add the like a sign language into the video and then broadcast for them, or closed caption or audio description. That we still continue doing this thing for the country, but it's not the whole country yet because we just start like last year, and the connection like internet thing very difficult in our country. Thank you.
Yes. Really, I agree with the face-to-face lesson in the traditional university, no? Because it's normal. But in my opinion, the universities have to tendency to the blended learning model, no? I believe that you have to take the good thing of both model, no? It's very more interesting, no? For traditional university.
Yes, I would like to say that thanks for sharing with us your experiences. I think that we share in Europe the same feeling that you have. We have more or less the same problem that you have with the connectivity because the socio-economic situation of our students or our academic staff are not, are not the same. In different regions, I think that we have problems also. And the flexibility that I don't know if I pronounce well your name, Rifki. Is okay? Yeah. The flexibility that mentioned by her, I think that is one of the best things that the pandemic have with us, and we need to apply this kind of flexibility that are provided by the technology that teachers and students have been forced to use the technologies that in the past exist existed the technology, but maybe our students or our teachers or our management, staff never used in the in the right way, or total the total potential that they have, no. And the hybrid model is, I think, that is one of the best things also that the pandemic has. Problem in our universities, in the organization, in our organizations, and the political part of our, not our work as teachers, lecturing, or other things, but the organization, I think, that needs to be aware that the hybrid models exist and works very well. And maybe this is the the main conclusion that I have right now about the post-pandemic situation.
Okay, César, I have seen that Roberto Dillon is here. Could you let him to present?
Okay.
Yeah?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, Roberto is going to present the EU index, an alternative metric to measure academic impact. Roberto. Now is not able to participate. Roberto, at least I can't not see in the list. Okay, so I agree with you. I'm trying to summarize some aspects and try to conclude, because we have another activity in 10 minutes. So, as you mentioned, many of the problems during this emergency remote learning, such as low quality of the internet connection, failure access to online platforms, lack of necessary equipment, lack of individual space for online classes, was the same in different countries. But in spite of these many problems, I think that we learned many things with this pandemic, and it was the value of the teaching profession and the teacher collaboration, because in many cases there has been a remarkable innovation in the response of educators to the COVID-19 crisis, with those systems most engaged with families and communities showing the most resilience. I think that for me, the most important aspect that I would like to mention was the value of the teaching profession. And I think that we need to encourage people or educators to have autonomy and a flexibility to act in a collaborative manner. I think that this kind of Congress will give us the opportunity to know what happened during this crisis. And as I mentioned before, many of these of the problems that you suffer were the same that we suffer in our Latin American countries. So we need to work in a collaborative manner to try to understand what will be the next steps to work in a better manner in order to better support teacher learning process using technology. I think that this is the idea. And thank you so much for your time. We know that it's too late for you, but this is part of this new scenario of hybrid model, and we would like to see you face to face in different congress that Karina or Alfonso are going to organize. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much to all the audience for this interesting session, and I hope to see you sometime. Okay.